already first blood in the under 1 minute, ladies and gentlemen, as we get into game number 1 in this best of 3 series. And right, you were talking about that level 4, but even before level 4, we do see the kind of the idea of the composition that the Philippines has brought to the table here for game number 1, with Perez already picking up a kill over onto the Tan in the gold lane.
Ooh, look at the damage though coming in from Amores, man. The Philippines are out for blood. I mean, Perez showing that she is hungry, going for dinner immediately, securing that first blood. But you can see the pressure already immediately, right? They're able to shove out so much faster, and they're able to rotate even faster as well. Especially with the Novaria Mathilda combo, that's gonna be such a pain for the side laners because Novaria can just put down 2 spells and just walk off with Vivera on the Mathilda, and that'll be the end of it. And immediately look at this invade though. They're looking for a chance to go onto Calcute, that she'll be able to still be doing quite fine right now. But the fact that now the turtle control is in the hands of the Philippines, are they gonna try and oblige for a full-on fight, or are they gonna maybe take it a bit slow here?
That's the big question, right? Because both of the junglers are actually at level 4, so technically the Mardis does still have a little bit more to say in the neutral objective take, especially with his anti-CC, but a diversion play.
Ooh, seems like Amores wasn't expecting the diversion to go through. She will be taken very, very low, but the guiding wind saves her. Has the blade being popped by Alpuerto, and she'll be able to take one out. CC immune though from Calcute, trying desperately to try and secure something, but the Finch poise is just too pesky, too difficult. That'll be Diagon taking out one member more. Philippines winning out on every single phase. The mobility advantage, they're using it to its full extent.
It has been insane the way that they were able to control that, right? The fact that they were able to get that neutral objective take, it was a very valiant effort once again from Sa on this Luo Yi to look for that crazy play from the bush, to perhaps look for an advantage in the bush. But at the end of the day, right, the way that the mobility card kind of worked in that particular team fight, they were able to weave in and weave out of the skills coming through from the side of Vietnam, and they were able to capitalize over that play from Vietnam that eventually propelled them to 3 kills in the first 3 minutes. Look at this in the bottom lane. It's a 2v1 situation, but Perez is still gonna go for it. He knows exactly the layer, but here comes the cavalry, here comes the backup.
Circling Eagle under the turret there, just exposing everyone. Perhaps for Amores to land a Star Shatter, but it won't really result in anything. But you saw that Perez in this lane is just doing so well. He's just a lot stronger here, almost winning out 1v2 even. And with the rest of the team close by, Calcute collides with Vivero, but Philippines will be playing it slow for now. They want to make sure that they get the right calculated play.
It looks like that's going to be the case here. Perez even really understands the limit of this Roger, right? Wants to get in that clear onto the waves before she goes in for the recalls, because she doesn't want to lose out in an already advantageous lane, already a level above of dinner in that gold lane. But it's also important to note that we actually do see one of the new emblems coming through, right, from Sheru. We have the Temporal Rain. Perhaps it will help her in the spam ability of how she utilizes it, especially they do want to spam as much ultimates as possible. Here comes the Circling Eagle.
Calcute gets jumped on. Diagon trying to help out in that effort as well. But the Philippines just setting up a wall right here, putting Diagon in between them and the opposing roster. Daytona's welcome though lands down to Calcute, but she will still be able to get out with a Moral Coil. The chase though comes down, and she will surely fall here, get taken out. That is the aggression we were talking about. Man, the Philippines, what can they not do here? They have all the control. They're just going in and out. And Vietnam were going with a very creative approach. You said it, Tuna. They had a Temporal Rain. They had Natan on the War Cry, by the way, which might have contributed to how that lane is going right now, because it doesn't give you a lot of sustainability like the Quantum Charge or the other more defensive emblems like the Weakness Finder that a lot of Natans try and use to try and stave off aggression coming in from that Roger.
For sure. And you know, the creativity and all that aggression coming through from the Philippines as well. I mean, even the system can't handle it, Arashi. And they're forced to look at our faces. You know what, ladies and gentlemen, I'm really sorry, right? There's too much violence going on that we kind of have to go for
Violence.
censor. No, Arashi, violence is not okay. And that's what we're looking at, right? Because the Philippines have been so great at controlling the objectives. They've been so great at controlling and understanding the limits of their individual roles and individual heroes, that the kill pressure is there, but not so much as they're making mistakes, right? I think that's
Right.
one of the main things that we saw kind of lack from Vietnam in the earlier match that they had against Myanmar, right? They had the kill pressure. They were very aggressive, but sometimes a little bit too aggressive. And so their positioning becomes off, their initiation kind of becomes off, and that eventually allows the opponent to kind of take over from then and there. But that's not what we're seeing from the Philippines at all. I mean, it's a wonder, right? Why in that interview, Myanmar Luna, she was like, yeah, one of our biggest competitors right now, one of the hardest teams to beat at the moment is Philippines. And that's not the first time that a region has mentioned Philippines. I think in the African qualifiers as well, a lot of people have actually looked forward as they answer in their interviews to go head to head against Philippines. But here we are back in the game after the violence that is coming through. But it looks like Vietnam have picked up 3 kills for themselves onto Diagon, Fifero, as well as Amores. I wonder what happened earlier on.
Maybe we'll see a replay later, but only time will tell. What is significant though is both teams have lost the turrets on the top and bottom side. Look at Amores though, getting jumped on immediately. That is the Lo Yi burst damage pressure. But she'll still be sticking around here. Daisy is in the area with the Black Dragon form, but that will be the turtle picked up by Puerto immediately. Daytona's welcome, used to try and go for a pickup. That will seal the deal for Daisy once more. The frontliner and this aggressive style for Vietnam really seems to cost them when it comes to staying power in the middle of a fight, especially because Calcute on the Martis is also with a killing spree. They're really banking on being able to go aggressive.
Just a casual dinosaur mukbanging on a dragon, but it looks like a diversion play towards the bottom lane. I don't think they understand what's happening here. Let's see the clash come forward, but really great read, really great disengage. Meanwhile, in the top lane though,
Tempest of Blades, Al Puerto with a very easy pickup, a very vulnerable dinner, quite literally taken out by Al Puerto and going straight for the turrets immediately. This is that split pressure we're talking about. Vietnam has some prowess when it comes to a full-on 5v5, but 1v1, there's so many more ways for the Philippines to try and maintain this pressure.
I wonder what the itemization for the Ling is, right? Did he go straight for Sky Piercer? Or did she go for a different kind of strategy here? But diversion play once again towards his mid lane. Does Perez know that she's there?
Ooh, the passive triggers onto Perez, but that's a circling eagle used by Vivera to scout and disengage. That'll be it. That'll be the diversion play completely neutralized. And for Vietnam, they're just not having enough tools right here. Even if they do set up for a great diversion play, who is supposed to start off the sequence of events? Who is gonna lock down the members from the Philippines? If it's gonna be Shieru with the stun seed, I think it's just a bit too difficult and it doesn't really last long enough.
Now we're going to take a look at the items earlier on. So for the Ling, okay, already ramping up in those items, right? But diversion play again.
Oh, they go into the top side right here, where Daisy still gets low, but she's flying out on the Black Dragon form. The Philippines can very easily chase her down. Amores definitely looking for a chance to try and get something more. But that'll be the Vietnamese backing away.
Whoa, dinner.
Dinner going in with the entropy, but won't be able to find Amores at all. The cover, the sustainability, and look at the moves, right? Philippines having control over the Lord Pit, immediately go for it. And Vietnam are powerless. They have the global pressure, but they're getting out-rotated.
So the question is whether or not they're going to be able to buy time for this Natan to come online, right? Because at this moment, with Al Puerto, with the Ling picking up the Sky Piercer, no deaths so far. So she's going to be able to capitalize over that item severely. But that base damage from Sa is still there and still needs to be respected. Actually forces the Novaria, forces Amores to go in for a recall as another diversion play is coming to the mix here.
Wait a minute, what a read there from Perez. She was gonna walk down too. Wait, I might have spoken too soon though. But with the diversion play, they go on Diagon instead, but that's a tanky member. Daytona's welcome. It's used onto Daisy. And she gets out with the guiding wind still. Perez kiting back away, but Sa with the aggressive flicker, now helped out by Daisy, but the guiding wind once more becomes a thorn in their side, and in the back line, that is Al Puerto going in, taking out dinner just like that. And it's not over yet. Perez coming through to try and participate. And that's Kao Kiteka. Powerless. And with the Lord in tower, 6v5, they go for Daisy as the waves still push on the top side. The Philippines give nothing back to Vietnam. And they might just go for the end right here.
Wiped out, ladies and gentlemen, in the 11th minute of the game. And with no members standing, with 7 seconds left on the clock, dinner is going to be spawning real soon. Can she defend from the inevitable? Can she defend from this siege coming in from the Philippines?
Doesn't seem like it's going to be the case. They all try and scramble to try and get the Philippines roster off their crystal, but it won't be enough. They were just too far ahead, almost at a 10k gold lead. The Philippines, man, this is why people have been hyping them up. We just saw respect given to them earlier, and you're seeing just a different level of just macro and mechanics.
It was crazy, right? Because throughout this tournament, even from the African qualifiers, Mirko as well as Naisu came into a little bit of a heated discussion, because after the interview that they made, I forgot with what region, but she mentioned that one of the biggest regions that she really wanted to face was the Philippines, right? Being one of the main contenders to win ISF this year for the MLBB Women's. And then Naisu was like smiling and